What's up everyone? This week, the recent monkeypox outbreak, medical magic mushrooms, a shark-infested volcano erupts, flaws in Hubble constant, and Lawrence Krauss on gender inequality in universities. Monkeypox. Should we be worried about it? At the time of writing, there are active cases of monkeypox in 12 countries, including Australia. It's a pretty nasty disease, which starts off with a fever, headache, and swollen glands before erupting into blisters all over the body. While it is a serious disease, it might look worse than it actually is. The virus strain that's circulating now has about a 1% fatality rate, which is more severe in children. It's not nearly as infectious as COVID, and you need close contact with the bodily fluids of an infected person to catch it. Monkeypox was first identified in 1958 among laboratory monkeys in Denmark and first identified in humans in the Congo in 1970. Up until recently, not many cases were seen outside of Africa, but scientists think it's becoming more common as time goes on due to waning immunity. Back in the day, people would get vaccinated against smallpox, which would also protect them against monkeypox, but vaccination stopped in the 70s. So who knows? Maybe we'll have to bring back the smallpox vaccine. Are you keen to try magic mushrooms? Now you might legally be able to do it, but only if your doctor says so. The CSIRO, Australia's scientific research agency, has been granted a special license to carry out research on psychedelic drugs, including MDMA and psilocybin mushrooms. So far, clinical trials both here and overseas have shown that these drugs may help with anxiety and PTSD, and with around 1 in 5 Aussies suffering from mental illness, this has the CSIRO interested. One of the first companies to work with CSIRO in this space is Melbourne-based Natural Medtech, who want to expand their research into the medical properties of plants and fungi. We bet that Silo, a startup from Sydney, will also be very excited about the news. They're trying to develop an alternative to SSRI antidepressants, which evidence suggests are only 20% more effective than a placebo and come with a whole host of side effects. But don't get too excited. The drugs they'll be making will probably not give you a trip and won't have any hallucinogenic effects. Have you watched Sharknado? If you haven't, don't bother. Watch Sharkano instead. Sharkano was a National Geographic documentary that went viral a few years ago following a school of sharks that lived inside one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. Yep, when you thought sharks couldn't get any more terrifying, they decided to go live inside an active volcano. The volcano is called Kavachi and is nestled deep in the waters around the Solomon Island. And guess what? It just erupted. NASA's Earth Observatory recently spotted it spitting sulfur and rock fragments into the boiling hot water in the Pacific. You'd think that the sharks would choose not to live around there, but studies have shown that they can detect approaching hurricanes and cyclones, so scientists think they might also be able to detect eruptions just moments before they happen, and even before us humans do. NASA says that something weird is going on in our universe. Yes, they literally used those words. They just analyzed 30 years worth of Hubble data, and they now have the most accurate measurements of exactly how fast our universe is expanding. That number is just over 1%, meaning that our universe will be double in size in 10 billion years. It's not news that our universe is expanding. We know this because galaxies are moving away from us, and the farther away they are, the faster they're traveling. The speed at which they're moving relative to their distance from Earth is called the Hubble constant. What's new and very weird is that this data shows that the constant is much faster than the standard model predicted. So did someone make a mistake? Not necessarily. Astronomers predicted that some unknown laws of physics could be at work. Hopefully, as we get more data from the James Webb Telescope, we'll be able to work out exactly what's happening. We often hear about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but where do men fit into that? In both the US and Australia, women outnumber men in tertiary education. In the US, 58% of the people graduating this year will be women. In Australia, 45% of women aged 25 to 29 have a bachelor's degree or higher, while only 32% of men at the same age do. This is a highly controversial topic that goes against the popular opinion that women are less privileged than men, but it's a topic that our mate Lawrence Krauss is not afraid of tackling. He dives into the data in a recent edition of his Critical Mass Substack, and it's definitely worth a read. Lawrence admits that when it comes to STEM degrees, men still outnumber women despite universities doing a lot to encourage female participation. But aside from STEM, he believes it's clear that young men are avoiding university and that in the long term, this is going to have negative impacts on our society. So, is it time to start experimenting with using equity programs to get more young men into tertiary education? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for this week, guys. Peace.